Morning.
Morning.
My name is Simon Breeden. I'm one of the partners and a solicitor in our personal injury department. I understand you'd like to know a bit more about personal injury cover.
Yeah, I had this accident and I just want to know what a personal injury claim is and how it works, what the process involves.
Okay, so a personal injury claim is a claim for compensation where an accident has happened that's not your fault. So it could be an accident at work, an accident in a public place, a road traffic accident, or even something like a serious assault or an injury sustained in a criminal action. The process involves an initial meeting with one of our lawyers who will take you through the process in more detail and explain the different funding options available to you. Most personal injury claims are funded by a no-win, no-fee agreement, which essentially says what it says on the tin. In a no-win, no-fee agreement, you only pay any legal fees if your claim is successful. And if your claim is unsuccessful, then you don't pay anything to us, and you are protected from being out of pocket any further from what might have happened. Once that funding is in place, then we arrange for details of the claim to be sent to the person that we consider is at fault for your accident or their insurers, and they then have a period of time to investigate it before letting us know whether they're going to accept liability or deny liability. After that, we'll arrange for you to be seen by an independent medical professional to assess what your injuries are, and hopefully following that we can try and negotiate a settlement for you and get you some compensation.
So what can you actually claim for then?
It's kind of a non-exhaustive list. A big part of it is damages for the actual injury itself. So it's not an easy thing to put a value on. How do you value a broken thumb? How do you value a broken arm? We do have to put a financial figure on it. Alongside the damages for the injury, there's also damages that can be compensation that we can recover for out-of-pocket expenses that you might have already incurred or that you might go on and incur in the future. So it could be things like travel expenses, medical expenses, extra care and assistance that you've needed, and a really big one that's important to a lot of people is a loss of earnings. Often when somebody has an accident, they can't work for a period of time, or maybe can't work to the same extent that they were working previously. So a loss of earnings can be claimed to either recover that loss in full, or even if their wages aren't quite the same as they were before the accident, to cover the difference in what they're losing out. There's also the possibility of getting some of your damages sooner. So rather than waiting for the end of the claim, having what's called an interim payment to help you out when you need it.
And how long does it take?
It depends on a lot of factors. Every claim is different, and we will run every claim on its own merits. A lot of the time that a claim can take is dependent on two big issues, which is whether the person that we think is at fault agrees that they're at fault. If they do agree that they're at fault, then the claim should in theory take a shorter amount of time than if they deny it, and we have to have a bit of a to-do with them. The other thing that the length of time is dependent on is how well you are recovering from your injuries, how long you're expected to be out of work and suffering for.
So I've got legal expenses insurance on my household cover, but if I want to use that to fund my claim, I have to use a firm that's not local to me. Is that possible that I can still use Sills and Betteridge?
Absolutely, yeah. When we have that initial meeting with you, we can explain all the funding options, and legal expenses insurance is one of those. Our recommendation is that for the vast majority of claims, no-win, no-fee agreement is the best way to fund personal injury work. It's ultimately entirely up to you how you go about funding your claim. The benefit of using a local firm are significant. You'll be able to see your solicitor, your lawyer regularly, as much as you want to, at one of our local offices. You will also have that same person dealing with your claim throughout, which makes a big difference to building up a rapport and trust in who's dealing with you and looking after you when you need it. We'll also keep you up to date and keep in touch with you regularly so that you know what's going on, and we're always only a phone call or an email away if you ever want an update. So absolutely, the choice is yours, and you can instruct whomever you like to help you. So if you like to proceed, then I'll happy to take some more information from you and we can get the ball rolling.